You know that feeling, that little buzz in your pocket, but then you check and nothing's there.
Oh yeah, the phantom vibration.
Yeah.
Or just that pull towards your phone for no real reason.
Exactly. That constant little tug, like an invisible string pulling you to the endless scroll and the next notification chime, the little red dot. Does it ever feel like your attention isn't, really yours anymore?
It's an incredibly common feeling now for so many of us. And there's a reason for it, a slightly unsettling one perhaps.
Which is?
Well, our modern digital world, it isn't just built to entertain us. It's actually meticulously, carefully crafted to capture and then hold our attention.
Okay, and that's exactly what we want to unravel today. This deep dive, it's all about getting under the hood, understanding the really profound, sometimes subtle impact that all these constant notifications and digital distractions are having on our mental health, definitely, but also our ability to focus, our general well-being.
Yeah, the goal here isn't to make anyone feel bad about using their phone. It's more about equipping you, the listener, with some practical, science-backed ways to maybe reclaim some of that attention, to feel more in control of your digital life.
It's about finding a more mindful way forward, right? A more intentional approach to how we use this amazing but also demanding technology.
Exactly. And what's fascinating, I think, is that while this feels like such a modern problem, the root issue, this feeling of being overwhelmed by information, it actually goes way back.
Really? How far back?
Centuries. We're talking about information overload. Basically, it's that state where you're faced with so much information, so many choices, that it actually makes it harder to understand things or make decisions. It can kind of paralyze you.
Wow, so it's not just a 21st century thing.
Not at all. People were complaining about too much information ages ago. You can find mentions in ancient texts, like the Book of Ecclesiastes, saying something like, of making many books there is no end.
Huh. So even back then.
Yep. And after the printing press arrived, scholars were initially thrilled, access to knowledge. But pretty quickly, they started grumbling about the overwhelming multitude of books. A Swiss scientist, Konrad Gessner, wrote in the 16th century about how information was becoming unmanageable.
History really does repeat itself, doesn't it?
It certainly seems to. Fast forward to today. You throw in the internet, social media, email, instant messaging. And that old problem is just amplified massively. Our devices are kind of the ultimate delivery system for this overload.
And it's not just the sheer amount, it's the constant interruptions, right?
Yeah.
That's what feels different now. It's like nonstop. Someone called it attention theft.
That's a great term for it, because think about it. A quick email check here, a social media alert there, a message ping.
Yeah.
Each one is a tiny little break in your focus.
And those tiny breaks add up. I read somewhere it can take ages to get back into deep focus after an interruption.
Yeah, some research suggests it can take up to, get this, 23 minutes to fully regain your concentration after being interrupted.
23 minutes. Wow. That's huge. No wonder it feels hard to get things done sometimes. It's not just annoying, it's actively slowing us down, eating away at our mental bandwidth.
And it goes deeper than just productivity, unfortunately. This constant stream of virtual communication, these relentless notifications, they're really impacting our mental health, our well-being.
How so?
Well, Dr. Sonal Anand, a psychiatrist, she pointed out how things like likes and positive comments online, they activate the reward center in our brain.
Ah, the dopamine hit.
Exactly. That dopamine release makes us feel good, briefly, and so we seek it out again. It creates this feedback loop, and that's where addiction becomes, as she put it, highly likely.
So it's not just a bad habit, it's literally hijacking our brain's reward system, making us crave those little digital pats on the back.
Pretty much, our brains start scanning, waiting for that next ping, that next notification.
Which sounds exhausting. I guess that leads to what people call notification anxiety.
Precisely. That feeling of being constantly on edge, waiting for the next alert, often driven by FOMO, the fear of missing out. It just keeps you tethered.
Yeah, I can relate to that. And you mentioned the phantom vibrations earlier.
Right. Which is so weird when you think about it. Our brains are literally playing tricks on us, making us think our phone vibrated or chimed when it didn't. We're checking for alerts that aren't even there.
That just shows how deep this conditioning goes, doesn't it? Even tricking our physical senses.
It really does. It highlights how embedded these digital habits become.
So if our brains are getting kind of rewired for these digital hits, is there a way to, I don't know, break that cycle? People talk about a dopamine detox. What's the deal with that? Is it even possible?
Okay, yeah, let's clarify that term because it's widely misunderstood. A true detox, where you completely halt all dopamine activity, that's scientifically impossible. Your body needs dopamine, It produces it naturally for basic functions like motivation, learning, pleasure, even movement.
Right, so you can't just switch it off.
Exactly. The term dopamine fast, which was the original idea from Dr. Cameron Sepa, is actually based on principles from cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. His idea wasn't about eliminating dopamine, but about helping people become less dependent on specific, often problematic stimuli, like the constant phone alerts or endless social media scrolling.
How does that work then?
It's about intentionally abstaining from those specific impulsive behaviors for set periods, allowing yourself to maybe feel bored or even a bit lonely without immediately reaching for that digital fix. The goal is to increase your awareness of what distracts you and regain control over those impulses.
So less detox, more like impulse control training or scheduled unplugging.
That's a much better way to think about it. And even though the name is catchy but misleading, the practice of stepping back from these constant stimuli can have real benefits. A 2024 literature review actually looked into this.
And what did it find?
It highlighted things like, increased ability to focus on tasks, people reporting feeling less overwhelmed, and a reduction in those impulsive behaviors like mindless scrolling. So the practice can definitely lead to improved well-being. It's about mindful choice, not total deprivation.
Gaining control. Okay, that makes sense. Which brings us to this idea of deep work, right, as maybe an antidote to all this distraction.
Yes, absolutely. Cal Newport's concept of deep work is incredibly relevant here. He defines it as, let me get this right, professional activity performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that pushes your cognitive capabilities to their limit.
Okay, distraction-free concentration. Sounds challenging.
It is, but he argues that these deep work efforts are what create real new value, improve your skills in a meaningful way, and produce results that are hard for others to replicate quickly.
And this is the opposite of
What he calls shallow work. That's the stuff that often fills our days, constantly checking email, sitting in meetings that don't accomplish much, quick chats, busy work. It feels productive maybe because you're busy, but it doesn't usually lead to breakthroughs or high-value output.
Right. Lots of motion, not much progress. So how do we actually do more deep work? Where do we even start? It feels like fighting the tide.
The absolute foundation is setting clear boundaries with your technology. That's non-negotiable.
Like what kind of boundaries?
Well, things like designating specific limited times for checking email or social media, maybe just once in the morning, once after lunch, not having it open all day.
Okay, scheduled checking. What else?
Turning off all non-essential notifications. Do you really need an alert every time someone likes your photo? Probably not. Using do not disturb mode proactively when you need to focus.
Right.
It's about taking control, not letting the tech control you.
Creating tech-free zones seems important too. Like no phones at the dinner table.
Definitely. Or no devices in the bedroom, perhaps. Or during meetings. Just creating physical spaces or times where the tech is put away. It helps you be more present. And honestly, interactions with people become so much richer when you're not half distracted by your phone.
Okay, boundaries. What about structuring the actual work time?
A really popular technique is the Pomodoro technique. Have you heard of it?
Vaguely. Something about tomatoes.
Yeah, the name comes from a tomato-shaped kitchen timer.
Sure.
But the method is simple. You work with intense focus for, say, 25 minutes, then take a short 5-minute break. After maybe 4 of those cycles or Pomodoros, you take a longer break.
So short bursts of focus.
Exactly. It helps build that focus muscle gradually and makes daunting tasks feel more manageable. It prevents that feeling of just staring at a huge project for hours.
I like that. And you mentioned defining your deep work mode.
Yeah, it's helpful to be really specific. How long will you try to focus? Start small, maybe just 15-30 minutes, and build up. What are your rules for that time? Phone off completely.
Yeah.
Or just on silent. Internet access allowed or blocked. What does success look like for that session? Pages written, problem solved.
So setting clear intentions for each session.
Precisely. Makes it feel more concrete, more deliberate. It creates a kind of ritual around focus.
Newport also had this idea of the grand gesture, didn't he? What was that about?
Ah, yes. That's for those really big, important, maybe intimidating projects where just chipping away daily isn't enough. The idea is to leverage a radical change in your environment or a significant investment, maybe picking a quiet retreat or dedicating a whole weekend, whatever it takes to signal the importance of the task.
So making it feel like a big deal.
Exactly. Harnessing novelty, quiet, maybe even a bit of financial investment to increase the perceived importance and create the conditions for intense, sustained focus. It tells your brain, okay, this is serious, time to really concentrate.
Interesting. Does deep work mean you have to be a total hermit, though? What about collaboration?
Good question. Deep work itself is usually a solitary activity. That's where the intense focus happens. But Newport acknowledges that intentional collaboration, things like brainstorming, getting feedback, learning from others, can absolutely feed into your deep work. It gives you new ideas and perspectives to process during your focus time.
So collaboration supports deep work, but you don't mix them.
That's the key distinction. You keep the deep work sessions themselves free from those kinds of collaborative interruptions. Protect that solitary focus time.
Okay. He also had that analogy about operating like a business for individuals.
Right, applying the 4 disciplines of execution to personal productivity. It sounds a bit corporate, maybe, but the principles are sound.
Can you break those down quickly?
Sure. Discipline 1. Focus on the wildly important. Pick just 1 or 2 crucial goals for your deep work efforts. Don't try to do everything. Discipline 2. Act on lead measures. Focus on the inputs you can control, like the number of hours spent in deep work each week, rather than just the outputs or results, which often lag behind.
Okay, inputs, not just outputs. Makes sense.
Discipline 3. Keep a compelling scoreboard. Track your deep work hours visually. Seeing your progress can be incredibly motivating. And Discipline 4. Create a cadence of accountability. Do regular self-reviews, or maybe even find an accountability partner to keep yourself on track with those goals and lead measures.
Wow, that's quite structured. It sounds intense.
It can be, which is why the next point is absolutely crucial. Prioritizing downtime. You can't just do deep work constantly.
Right. Burnout is real.
Totally. Newport suggests our capacity for true deep work is actually quite limited, maybe around 4 hours max per day for most people. Pushing beyond that often leads to diminishing returns, poorer quality work. Regular rest, breaks, and time completely off actually improve the quality of your deep work.
So less can be more, in a way.
In terms of quality focus, yes.
Yeah.
He also recommends having a clear shutdown ritual at the end of your workday. Something consistent you do to signal to your brain, okay, work is done now. It helps you mentally switch off and recharge properly.
That leads nicely into thinking about our relationship with digital tools more generally, not just turning them off, but being more selective.
Exactly. Newport contrasts the common any benefit approach, where we adopt a tool if it offers any possible advantage, no matter how small or distracting.
Which sounds like how most of us use tech.
Probably. He contrasts that with the craftsman approach. Here, you only adopt a tool if its positive impacts substantially outweigh its negative impacts, specifically in relation to your most important goals in life and work.
So being way more critical about the tools we let into our lives.
Yes. It involves listing your core goals, the key activities that support them, and then really evaluating each tool. Does this app, this platform, truly offer a significant net positive impact on achieving those goals? Or is it mostly noise, distraction, or a net negative? Then you consciously eliminate the ones that don't make the cut.
Choosing your tools like a craftsman chooses their chisels. Quality over quantity.
That's the idea. It's about intentionality.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about reducing the negative, the distractions, the shallow work. But what about using technology more positively? Can we actually use these tools to boost well-being, not just drain it?
Absolutely.
Right.
That's the whole idea behind digital well-being. It's not just about less screen time. It's about how you use that time. Handling online stress better, engaging in healthier digital habits, using tech in ways that actually help you thrive.
So what are some practical ways to do that?
Well, one simple thing is being more mindful online. Just paying attention non-judgmentally to what you're doing and how you're feeling while you're using tech. Maybe try taking mindful photos. Notice something interesting, snap a pic just for yourself as a way to practice observation, but resist the urge to immediately share it.
Interesting. Just for you. And what about when interacting with others?
This is huge. Give people your full attention. Research clearly shows that even just having a smartphone visible during a conversation can lower the quality of the interaction and how much people enjoy it. So put your devices away when you're talking to someone face-to-face. Be present.
Makes a big difference, doesn't it?
It really does. Another powerful shift is to consciously focus on others online sometimes. While self-reflection is good, too much self-focus, especially online, can sometimes amplify negative feelings. Studies show that shifting your attention to making others feel good, focusing on their happiness, can actually boost your own positive emotions.
How would that look online?
That ties into creating pro-social posts. Instead of the subtle, humble brag that might make others feel envious, focus on sharing things that are genuinely helpful, kind, supportive, or generous. Compliment someone, share useful advice, wish a friend luck on a project. These things strengthen connections.
Less about me, more about we.
Exactly. And when you encounter negativity, which is inevitable online, try to practice random acts of online kindness. Instead of firing back an angry reply to a harsh comment, pause. Question your assumptions. Maybe try leading with curiosity. Like, sounds like you have a really different take on this. Can you share more about your perspective so I can understand better? It can completely change the dynamic.
De-escalation through curiosity. I like that.
Also, try to find silver linings online. When things are tough, actively look for a small positive aspect or a lesson learned. Sharing that authentically, maybe with hashtag silver linings tag, can help others find hope too.
And simple text communication. That can be tricky.
Oh, definitely. Text messages lack tone, facial expressions, all those crucial nonverbal cues. So communicate kindly in text. Be aware of how easily things can be misinterpreted. If a message seems harsh or unclear, ask clarifying questions before assuming the worst or reacting defensively.
Good advice. What about protecting our own self-esteem online?
That's vital. Challenge messages that harm self-esteem. Be really mindful of media or social media posts that push unrealistic ideals, perfect bodies, perfect lives, often heavily edited. Notice what triggers feelings of inadequacy in you and consciously question or disengage from those sources.
Okay, and can we use our phones for good, like proactively for our mental health?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Use phones for self-compassion and gratitude. This is great. Write some positive affirmations for yourself. You are capable. Be kind to yourself today. You've got this. And set them as your lock screen image or as recurring daily calendar notifications. Little boosts throughout the day.
I love that idea, like little supportive notes to yourself.
And practice gratitude actively. Use messaging or social media specifically to express genuine appreciation to people in your life. Not just a generic thanks, but something specific. Hey, just wanted to say I really appreciated you listening yesterday. You're a great friend. Or recall a specific time someone helped you.
Making gratitude more concrete.
Yeah. You could also savor online. Use your phone to look back at old photos that bring joy, read inspiring stories, watch awe-inducing videos. Really take a moment to absorb the positive feelings they evoke, make them last longer.
And share the good stuff.
Yes. Extend positive moments. When something good happens, share that positive emotion without bragging with others via call, text, or post. Sharing joy can amplify it, both for you and for them.
And finally, there are apps and things specifically for well-being, right?
Tons. Engage in online well-being activities, guided meditations, mindfulness exercises, journaling apps, visualizations. Your phone can be a portal to resources specifically designed to boost well-being if you use it intentionally for that purpose.
So many positive strategies. Okay, to wrap all this up, besides these digital-specific tactics, we shouldn't forget the basics, should we? Foundational stuff for focus and well-being.
Absolutely not. Number one is adequate sleep. It's completely non-negotiable for cognitive function, concentration, emotional regulation. Adults generally need 7-9 hours a night. And limiting screen time right before bed is a huge part of getting good sleep.
The blue light effect.
Exactly. And the mental stimulation. And the other big one, limit multitasking. We think we're good at it, but research consistently shows it fragments our attention and reduces the quality of our work on all the tasks we're juggling.
So single tasking is key.
As much as possible, yes. And taking short, regular breaks, even just 5 minutes away from the screen every hour or so, can do wonders for staying refreshed and maintaining focus when you return to the task.
Okay, so bringing this all home, taking control of the notifications, managing the digital noise, it's not really about ditching technology entirely, is it?
Not at all. It's about shifting from being reactive to being intentional. It's about cultivating a healthier, more conscious relationship with these incredibly powerful tools we all carry around.
So it's a two-pronged approach. Setting those boundaries, using principles like deep work to carve out focus time, and actively choosing to use technology in ways that are positive and mindful.
That's it exactly.
Yeah.
Reducing the negative impact and increasing the positive potential. Both sides are important for genuine digital well-being.
So here's maybe a final thought for everyone listening. If our attention really is the most valuable currency we have in this digital age, what are you truly investing yours in each day?
Yeah, think about that. What might happen if you intentionally redirected, just say, 1% of your daily digital attention? Maybe towards a short, deep work session or towards one of those pro-social online actions we talked about. How could that small shift start to reshape your productivity or your sense of connection and happiness for the next few months or the next year?
It's definitely an ongoing journey, isn't it? A process of making mindful choices again and again.
It absolutely is. And hopefully this deep dive has given you a few useful tools and ideas for navigating that journey.